because I didn't want to be subjected to Army for many reasons. So I ended up joining the inactive reserves, which I wasn't supposed to be called back unless there was an all-out war. However, the things got too hot in Korea and they started to call back the reserves, and I was one of them, and I got stationed aboard the Wisconsin, and they were going to recommission the ship. We ended up in Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, and this is our first trip to going into the beach for some liberty. This is a shot of the fantail for the U.S. Wisconsin when we were en route to Gitmo down in Guantanamo Bay, Cuba. And we were on our small boats, as you saw in the previous slide, going into the beach for liberty. We're still on a small boat going into the shore of Guantanamo Bay, Cuba. Yeah, here we are going North Atlantic, and we got a report that we were the hospital ship for the fleet at the time, and we had to pull up. They had the USS Carpellata pull up alongside of us, and they were going to transfer the patient from their ship to ours. Originally, it was supposed to be, I was supposed to be transferred to the ship and with a doctor, but then they changed the plans and reversed it and brought the patient over to our ship. This is one of our doctors that was transferred over to the ship, and you can see the water's changed a little bit here from what it was before, but this is again in the North Atlantic. Again, on our shakedown cruise, we ended up back at Guantanamo Bay, and this is happy hour on the base. As you can see, we're guzzling a few beers, which tasted good. That's a good question up there. Where's the beer? This was the beer garden in Guantanamo Bay for the Swabbies when they came ashore. This is a sunset shot from the ship of Guantanamo Bay, Cuba. Here we are in the center of Guantanamo Bay City. This is the main drag. Shows what kind of a lifestyle they have within the city. This is another shot of going into the beach in Guantanamo, and in the background there in the center is the Admiral's shack, and the guy that's resting his eyes here, I don't know whether he's ready to go to sleep or he's unhappy. This is a shot while we're out at sea of the USS Wisconsin, and I was up and about taking pictures. Technically, we weren't supposed to take them, but because of the armory on it, but they never said anything about it, so gives you the strength of the ship. This shows refueling while we're out at sea on our shakedown cruise, and it's a picture of the USS Elkelman coming alongside to feed us the fuel that's needed. The two guys there in the front is Allen and Mills. They're two of my shipmates that worked in the sick bay. Allen was brought on board ship just as we were leaving, and he was a very disappointed guy. He was a registered pharmacist and had gotten called back in also. This is another shot of the bow of the Wisconsin. Again, it shows the power of the ship, and we're still on our shakedown cruise. Again, we're still out in the sea on our shakedown, but this is happy hour aboard the ship. We're cruising up in the North Atlantic, and it shows the strength of the waters during a storm. We were actually taking water over the bow. This is another picture of the North Atlantic strength looking from the aft starboard side during the storm. Shows some of the strength of the North Atlantic while we're still on our shakedown cruise. You can see the water coming over the bow. This is when we're going into Scotland in the small boats, but gives you an idea of how high that bow is in relation to the pictures when we were in the North Atlantic with the water coming up over it. When we came ashore in the small boats, this shows the Firth and Forth Bridge connecting England and Scotland. Coming into Lisbon, Portugal, taken from the deck of the BB-64. This shows the entrance to the Tagus River, and the white tower sitting on top of the mound there is a guide for the pilots coming into Lisbon, Portugal. Looks like low tide at a fast glance here, but it's Hell's Mouth Gate in Estoril, Portugal. By the casino in Estoril, Portugal. Hey, a welcome change of clothes for a change. This is a Traveler's Court in Little Creek, Virginia. It's a wake of the BB-64 en route to Norfolk from Gitmo, ending another cruise, doing speeds at 27.7 knots at the time. This was my station aboard the BB-64. It's the dressing room and main sick call room of sick bay. This is the operating room of BB-64. Spent a few hours in here, working, of course, hopefully.